Behind palace walls, a medieval princess and a common knight shared a secret that could shake a kingdom. Recently discovered letters reveal their dangerous romance, hidden passages, and coded messages that challenge the strict rules of royal life. In the summer of 1985, during routine renovations at Thornfield Palace, workers knocked through a wall and found something amazing: a small hidden chamber filled with hundreds of yellowed parchments. These weren't just any old papers, but love letters between Princess Eleanor and Sir Thomas, a knight from a modest background. The letters were tucked away in an ornate wooden chest, preserved by the room's dry conditions. What makes this find so special is how it changes what we knew about medieval royal life. The letters show clever ways they kept their romance secret, like using hollow books to pass notes and marking specific castle windows with flowers to signal meeting times. They even created their own secret language using symbols from chess pieces, which took historians 3 years to decode. These letters paint a picture of two people who risked everything for love, breaking strict social rules of their time. Let's explore how Princess Eleanor and Sir Thomas managed their forbidden romance despite the strict rules of medieval society. Their letters reveal clever tricks they used to meet in secret. Eleanor would have her trusted lady-in-waiting create distractions during evening feasts, while Thomas used his position as a knight to patrol certain palace corridors at specific times. They exchanged small tokens, a ribbon here, a pressed flower there, each with special meanings only they understood. But their romance wasn't just about stolen moments. The letters show how Eleanor challenged the idea that royalty could only marry other royalty. She wrote passionate arguments about how a person's character mattered more than their title. Thomas, though not wealthy, proved his worth through his loyalty, intelligence, and dedication to protecting the kingdom. Their story reminds us that even in the most rigid times, people found ways to follow their hearts. The way Princess Eleanor and Sir Thomas communicated was incredibly creative. They developed a detailed system using chess pieces as code. A knight meant, "Meet me tonight," while a bishop warned, "Someone is watching." They hid messages inside seemingly innocent objects around the castle. A specific book left open in the library, marked with tiny dots under certain letters, spelled out their messages. The lovers also used music to communicate. Thomas would request certain songs during court gatherings, each tune carrying a secret meaning. Eleanor's embroidery patterns weren't just decoration. The colors and patterns were actually messages in plain sight. Even the placement of flowers in the castle gardens served as signals. A red rose in the east window meant danger, while white lilies in the west window signaled safe to meet. As word of Eleanor and Thomas's romance began spreading through the palace, the royal court buzzed with dangerous gossip. High-ranking nobles started avoiding Eleanor at formal events, while others tried to curry favor by reporting every detail of her movements to the king. The palace spies doubled their watch, making their secret meetings nearly impossible. Eleanor's father, King Richard, faced mounting pressure from his advisors who warned that this scandal could weaken alliances with neighboring kingdoms. They had planned to marry Eleanor to a foreign prince to secure peace at the borders. Meanwhile, Thomas found himself assigned to increasingly dangerous missions far from the castle, a clear attempt by jealous nobles to remove him from Eleanor's life. Even the common people in the village below started sharing stories about their princess and her knight, though these tales painted them as brave heroes, defying unfair rules. The secret meetings between Princess Eleanor and Sir Thomas took place in the most hidden corners of the palace grounds. The lovers used a network of forgotten servant passages that wound behind the castle walls like a maze. These narrow corridors, originally built for staff to move unseen while serving nobility, became their secret highways. In the palace gardens, they found a quiet spot behind tall rose hedges, where ancient trees blocked the view from guard towers. Their letters describe how Thomas would signal his arrival by tossing small pebbles at a specific stained glass window, while Eleanor used a brass key she had specially made to access a rarely used door near the kitchen gardens. Sometimes they met in an abandoned chapel, its dusty corners lit only by moonlight streaming through broken windows. The risk of discovery was always high. palace guards patrolled regularly, and servants could appear at any moment. The secret finally unraveled during a grand feast when a servant discovered one of their coded letters. King Richard's reaction was swift and fierce. He ordered Thomas thrown into the palace dungeons and confined Eleanor to her chambers under constant guard. The court watched in shock as the king stripped Thomas of his knighthood and lands. Eleanor faced an even harsher punishment: immediate arrangements for her marriage to Prince Harold of the Northern Kingdoms. The letters show Eleanor's desperate attempts to reason with her father, arguing that forcing her into a political marriage would weaken, not strengthen, the kingdom. She pointed out Thomas's years of loyal service and how his common background helped him understand the people's needs better than any foreign prince. Now Eleanor faced the hardest decision of her life: follow her heart or bow to royal duty. Her father gave her an impossible choice: marry Prince Harold to secure peace or watch Thomas face exile or worse. The letters from this time show her inner struggle. She wrote about her deep love for Thomas and her belief that a ruler should understand their people, not just other royals. But she also understood that refusing the marriage could start a war, putting thousands of lives at risk. Eleanor's writings reveal how she spent sleepless nights pacing her chamber, weighing her personal happiness against her responsibility to the kingdom. Some letters show tear stains, while others contain fierce arguments about what makes a good ruler. With Thomas facing banishment, the lovers made a bold plan. Their final letters reveal how they arranged to meet at midnight near the old monastery ruins. Thomas had secretly gathered supplies and 2 fast horses, while Eleanor collected jewels she could sell if needed. They mapped a route through the dense forest to reach the coastal town of Blackport, where a merchant friend of Thomas would help them board a ship to the free cities. The stakes were huge. If caught, Thomas would face death, and Eleanor would lose her royal status forever. The letters show both their fear and determination. Eleanor wrote about leaving behind everything she'd known, while Thomas promised to build them a new life where titles didn't matter. Their plan required perfect timing and more than a little luck. The story of Eleanor and Thomas did more than just create palace gossip. It sparked real changes in how people thought about marriage and social class. Their letters became popular reading among nobles, spreading through secret copies that made their way to other kingdoms. Young nobles started questioning the old rules about only marrying within their class. Several royal families began allowing their children more say in choosing partners. The common people loved this tale of rebellion against unfair rules, turning Eleanor and Thomas into folk heroes. Songs about their romance appeared in taverns, and storytellers spread their tale across the land. Even some church officials started supporting more freedom in marriage choices, pointing to Eleanor's arguments about character being more important than titles. Within a generation, more nobles were marrying for love rather than just political gain. Looking at these letters with modern tools tells us fascinating things about life in medieval times. Chemical analysis of the ink shows they're definitely authentic, dating to around 1432. The handwriting reveals both writers were highly educated. Eleanor's elegant script matches other royal documents from that time, while Thomas's writing shows he learned from monastery teachers. The language they use tells us about medieval romance too. Their words were passionate but also careful and proper, following strict rules about how nobles should express themselves. The letters also give us details about daily castle life, from what people ate at feasts to how servants moved through hidden passages. Most importantly, they show that medieval people weren't as stiff and rule-bound as we often think. Thanks for joining me on this journey through a remarkable medieval love story. These letters show us that people haven't changed much. We're still fighting for love against the odds. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share for more hidden historical tales.